skaters, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today is going to be a really fun one. We are doing some cool exercises, some cool tricks that you can do on a chair out on the ice. But I'm not going to be alone for this video. I actually have a special guest. Joining me today is Jennifer Jones. Oh my goodness, the amazing Jennifer Jones with all of her cool chair tricks. My goodness, we're getting a really good intro to the chair moves right here. All right, so this is going to be a fun one.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to tell us before we get started with the chair?
Yes, I do. So chairs are like having a skating partner, an unruly one. So first of all, selecting your chair just like a partner, very important thing. So when you're selecting a chair, you want to take a look at the legs. So as you can see, mine are slightly flared out to the side. This is what's going to allow me to turn safely or safer.
So you don't want those legs straight down,
No.
You want them flared. Okay.
You want them slightly flared, because if they're straight down and you do anything other than sit on it, it will tip over on the ice. So that's number one. Number two, you want something that has a handle or some sort of grip. So this one has a bar across it, but there are some that just have a handhold, something that you can easily grab and hold so you don't have to try to grab the structure. And then lastly, the bottoms. So the bottoms should have something that when you bring the chair on the ice, it should move very smoothly and not be rough. So if it does have some sort of felt or some sort of grip to it that doesn't allow the chair to freely twizzle on its own, then yes.
That's interesting, because a while ago I had a student who wanted to do a chair move, and her grandmother, not knowing, made sure to put felt on the bottom.
Ooh, yeah.
She got in here and was completely stuck, and I was like, you got to take that felt off, that's backwards.
Yes, completely. It's like putting guards on your skates and coming out on the ice. So yes.
And there's one more thing you told me earlier about the fold.
Oh yes, folding chairs. You'll have to do this in post-production. Big X, no. No folding chairs.
No folding chairs, because they might fold on you while you're on them.
Yes, I have a broken wrist, a bloody nose, and a concussion, all from trying acrobatics on a chair. If you ever want to watch the 2006 National Showcase, I somehow managed to do what I did on a chair without hurting myself, but in the process of doing that, I learned the hard way, no folding chairs, because you're changing your weight constantly on them and they fold like a clamshell, and I have seen some gnarly accidents and been part of a couple of myself. So yes, no folding chairs, fixed chairs. Good place to find is if you can go to a restaurant supply store, because they have really good chairs, they're sturdy. You want something that's a fixed frame, so nothing that bends, folds, or not looking like a transformer.
Now, before we get into a couple of tutorials, I want them to be able to see a couple of the cool tricks that you've done. So we're going to pop in some footage from some of your performances right here. All right, now that we are completely awe-inspired for your amazing chair tricks, let's get started. What's the first thing we need to know how to do?
All right, this is going to sound pretty basic, but sit. Okay, that's probably one thing I very do little of is sitting, but actually sitting on the chair and learning where the center is, because on our skates, of course, we have a rocker. We know when we're on it or off it or too far forward. Same with the chair, and every chair is different. So I'm going to pop Julia here on the throne. So as you sit down.
Why don't you show me what to do
So when
first?
you sit down, you want to make sure you're holding on to it, because if you sit on it and you're on the wrong way, it goes right out from underneath you, and someone will catch that on Instagram. Okay, so always make sure you're holding the chair. I always like to push it and actually till it touches the back of my legs. That way I know I'm sitting on it, right? So as you're sitting on it, I want you to think of that weight sitting centered on it. So you don't want to sit on the front, and you don't want to get so far back that you can't maneuver the front. So like dead center is a good place to start.
So we want to be very prim and proper.
Prim and proper, yeah.
Okay, so we're grabbing that chair, we're coming around.
Push it to the back of your legs.
the back of the leg.
Yep, and then just
right.
pop yourself down and sit pretty. Yes, you got it.
All right, I got step one down. I can do it.
You are down.
Okay.
Yes. GOEFI right there. Okay. Once you sit down, you want to kind of scoot. basically. Like, see how it moves, get your little toe picks in and kind of move it around a little bit. So learning how to spin, that's probably the most basic maneuver
let's do that
everybody wants to learn how to do, right? And
yes.
probably the safest. Okay, so spinning, you're going to do, we all know how to do like our little scooter pushes, right?
Yeah.
So it's a scooter push. So in the direction you spin, so if you are spinning to the left, you're gonna push to the right foot. If you're someone who likes to spin to the right, you're gonna push with your left. You did get that right?
You got that right.
I have not had enough coffee today for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it going forward, get up to the side of it, do that scoot under my body, step, and pull. And that allows me to spin in a basic fashion.
That is so fun. So
All
you're
right.
coming at it. You're coming at it the direction you spin.
So in slow motion.
Yes. Yes.
So we're gonna, in the direction we're gonna go, we're gonna pull it back, get in front of it, feel it against your leg. That's the key. Then I know it's there. I don't have to look at it. I can stay forward. You're gonna sit, use the back leg to propel yourself, and then you can spin. And if you're you're spinning. If your center is good, then you can do whatever you want with your arms.
All right, I'm going to give this a try. I don't know why I'm nervous about this.
Well, it's less scary than a triple axel.
I would be nervous about a triple axel too.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so
It's
we're going
just a twizzle
forward.
with 4 extra legs.
We're sitting.
Sit, pull. Perfect.
Woo!
She got it.
Ta-da!
Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
I'm gonna now.
That is really
she's gonna
fun.
steal my chair. I know. I'm gonna be like, there goes Julia. So there's a really fun one. I call this the Superman, and you will see why. So this can be done spinning and or just straight out like Superman. So for this one, first before you try it, you're gonna want to find where you balance on it because everyone's proportionately different, right? So you want to do it stationary first. So the idea is that you want to get the center of your weight to be perfectly centered over the chair. So when you lay down, get yourself there, and then you're going to balance yourself and see if you can get perfectly balanced like that. Once you know where that sits on the chair, then it's a matter of just adding the glide, right?
So some people are going to be much more center of gravity in their shoulders. Some are much more in their hips.
Absolutely.
So what you're talking about is spending some time,
Yes.
maybe even off the
Off
ice.
ice would be advisable.
Finding, probably with skates on because there's weight.
Yeah.
Finding that center of gravity.
Gravity.
I feel like I know where mine is, but
Yeah,
I'm going
go
to give
for
this
it.
a try.
I'll hold the chair for you.
Okay, so we're going to go.
So you're going to lay flat.
I feel like it's my hips.
There you go. And then
There we
arch.
go.
There you go.
So if
Ta-da.
I went farther back,
Uh-huh.
I could do it.
But you're going to feel your legs.
I'd have to engage my back a lot more. So I could
Exactly.
still do it more like rib cage to hip.
Exactly.
But my back is more engaged. Where if, for me personally, if I'm farther forward, I'm still trying to have a pretty back, but I don't have to work as hard.
Right.
To
And
stay
then if I can
balanced.
get you down there again one more
Yeah.
time, I'm going to totally turn her into knots.
Okay, let's
All
do
right.
it.
You guys better thumbs up for this one. Okay. So we're going to reach back.
Oh dear.
And grab the blade and pull straight out. Ta-da! So that makes,
my-
and I'm going to turn you around, so don't freak. So this makes for a very pretty spin.
Oh my goodness.
I can
And
see
I
this.
imagine,
I can somehow see this on one of your merchandising things.
I also feel like if I stretched more, that would
Yeah.
be way cooler.
Yes, and it's a very effective thing. So in skating, we very often get tempted into doing jumps when we hear a crescendo,
Yes.
or when the music elevates. This is a very like awe moment.
So
when you do
if you're a
something-
skater who's not wanting to do really, really
Yeah.
high level jumps at this point in your skating,
Yes.
this could be a cool substitute for those.
Oh, absolutely. And people
Love it.
remember this. So, like, did you see that chick on the chair? Yes. it has an awe factor. So moving with it, you want to first start with just gliding. So don't try to spin yet, just get yourself moving along. So for this, you're going to use that handle, or if you have a round chair you want to hold here, give yourself a nice big swizzle. That's going to bring your center of gravity low, and then push your hips through, and you'll be able to balance. So from there, it'll naturally rotate on its own just because of the type of spin we're doing. Now, if you want to spin with that, now we're going to add kind of the same thing we did with the sit. This I call it a sit spin, but it's not a sit spin.
It's a chair
sitting
sit spin.
So to move it while you are going out that way, and this is a really great one if you're in that position I just put you in. So what you'll do is you want to get a little speed up, because speed is your friend on this. Hold on to this side of the chair, open, and you're going to put more weight on this left leg, which allows you then to spin. Okay, I call this a sidecar. By the way, the names you are hearing, I coined them because I don't see people do them, so I had to come up with a way to explain them to people and differentiate the
Well, if
steps.
you invented the move, you get to name it,
There
right?
you go, right?
There you go. All right, so a sidecar.
Okay, sidecar. So this one looks, as you saw in the video, looks kind of gravity defying because all my weight is on one side of the chair and I'm still somehow spinning. So this requires, once again, knowing where your weight sits when you do this. So you want, again, good hand grip on the top. You're gonna take your forearm. So this is gonna be your hand to elbow, and you're actually gonna hold, as you can see, the back of the chair right here. This is gonna allow you to go in. So if your chair does not have an opening here, this one could be a little tricky. You can still do it. I just like to be able to hold it that way, but I have done it in chairs that are fully suspended. All right, so we're gonna use that same motion we did on the previous one, where you're gonna see my right leg come out and then pick up. So I'm still using the right foot on the inside edge to
It's almost like going into a backspin.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, it's just a really sloppy
Really
entry.
sloppy
It's a very
backspin
forward, yeah. Don't try that on a real backspin. So we're gonna push forward, grab here, then I'm gonna take the left foot, bring it around, and then create the spin. So once you feel like you've got the momentum and you feel like you're okay, then you can slowly bring that foot up a little bit. So
the goal is to have both legs up off the ice.
Yes,
Okay.
because of course then less drag.
Yes.
You're not gonna die. It's a main theme here. All right, so I'm gonna do it kind of in slow motion so you hopefully you guys can catch it on your video. Okay, so we're gonna go forward, grab the top, open the legs, spin, and turn out. And you can twist and turn and do whatever kind of leg positions you want on that. It's kind of up to you once you feel like you're balanced.
So once you get the hang of it, you put your own little flair on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a tango or you're doing something cute and sassy, that's kind of the cool thing with chairs is you can mix it up to whatever theme music you have.
I love it. Well, this has been so fun. There's one skill that you do out here that we're not going to be teaching you. It's one of those don't try this at home ones. Or at least not with extreme supervision after you've been doing the chair for a while. But you call it?
I call it a scorpion.
It does look like a scorpion.
It does look like a scorpion.
It's so cool. You got a tiny preview of it earlier, but I want to see it to its full effect.
Live
so
action.
let's do that scorpion.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for those amazing demos. I know people are going to have so much fun with this chair, right?
Safely, yes.
Safe fun.
Lots of fun, safe fun.
And if you decide to try this, maybe with some supervision, I'd love to see your attempts on social media. So go ahead and tag me, and you can tag
Jennifer, you can take, I've got a couple, but Jennifer Jones Hawaii.
There we
Probably
go.
the easiest one to find.
There we go, Jennifer Jones Hawaii on Instagram. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please do give us that thumbs up. And as always, I'm looking forward to reading all your comments in that section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.